Today I'll be showing you how to make your own custom model suit replacements for Little Company, and I will be showing you how to make something like this, a custom player model that it will be attributed to suits on the wardrobe. So in order to start making our custom model for Little Company, we're going to be using the model replacement API from the Thunderstore webpage. So most of what I'm going to be saying will be using the official tutorial for the model replacement API. So if you ever want to refer to something physically, you can always refer to this tutorial. But first off, we're going to want to have to download all of these software first. So first off, we're going to want to download Unity 2022.3.9. You're gonna download Git, and you're also gonna have to download Visual Studio. This is or at least any IDE that you want. Now for if you've downloaded Visual Studio, you're gonna want to have to do a few special things, especially if you're downloading it for the first time. I'm going to head over to my Visual Studio installer. So as you can see, this is my installation currently. If you haven't already, you're gonna want to go to modify and make sure that ASP and web development and .NET desktop development is enabled. Otherwise, a lot of the coding that we're going to be doing later on for the model replacement won't be available and it won't work. So if you haven't already, just tick these and then you're gonna want to modify your installation over here. Now, so I'm going to presume that you already have your model, as I personally have mine as an FBX. But so once you have your model, you're gonna want to go to your Unity Hub and click a new project. Click 3D HDRP, make a 3D HDRP project, name it whatever you want, test model, I'm going to name it, and you just create a project. Now this will take a while, so I'm just going to cut to whenever it's done processing. Okay, so now that you've got into your project for the first time, what you're going to want to do is go to Window and go to Package Manager. Now, first things first, I'm going to go back to the tutorial and I'm going to copy this link right here and hit this plus sign, add package from git URL, Control V, and press enter. This will install the model replacement API package to your Unity project so that it will become easier for you to import your model into the game. Alright, everything seems fine. Now I'm just going to go ahead and delete most of these things in the scene since we don't really need them. But here in the assets page, you're going to want to drag your whatever models you have or your folder, and here I have my model over here. As you can see, it's already textured, but if it's not already textured, if you have the PNG, you can just go ahead and select it and drag your PNG over to it. Since mine is already modeled, already textured, I don't need to do it. But if yours is just kind of a gray thing, then you might have to drag your PNGs over to your model. So now that is imported, your model is imported, you're going to click in the folder, your model over here, go to rig, go to animation type humanoid, avatar definition, create from this model. Now this assumes that your model is already rigged, but sometimes and once so if your model is not already rigged, you might want to have to rig it yourself or find another model that is already rigged, because this only works if, as you can see, mine already has all of the bones done. But if you want to create from this model, you can have to click apply. And now sometimes you may get an error, but this one isn't related to this thing. But if you get an error from it, that means you might have some problems with your armature, or it may not be rigged at all. You're gonna want to have to fix that in Blender. This isn't really the tutorial to touch on that, but I'm sure you can fix it. Just go to Blender and try and learn a bit about the software and try and fix it yourself. But as you can see, mine was able to I was able to rig it quite well. It went ahead with no errors, so it's gonna go ahead and configure. Now as you can see, the Unity automatically attributed each of the bones to its right, to the right places, shoulder to shoulder, upper arm to arm. You're gonna want to have to double check all of these. Just make sure that it's in the right places, and yeah. But you're also gonna want to make sure that your model is in a T-pose over here. If it's not already, you can just go ahead and adjust it if you want. Make sure it's in a T-pose, or you could just go to pose over here and click enforce T-pose. This will force it into a T-pose, and you can just go straight from there. Just make sure all of the body parts are attributed to the right bones. Once you're done, you can just hit apply and then click done. And now that's your model already set up. So what you're gonna do is click your model over here, hit model replacement and SDK over here, if assuming you've imported the package, and click setup model. Now you should see something like this. Don't worry if it's placed in the wrong place. What you're gonna want to do is press reinitialize a couple of times just to make sure that it's placed in the right place, in the middle of this pink circle over here. Now you're gonna want to have to, sometimes you may see it a bit below what's expected. You can just go ahead and adjust it if you want. Now you're ready to start matching it up with the player model. I just clicked this render preview player so you can compare it to the default player model, just so you can compare it, and you can kind of want to start matching it up to the size and the position of the player. Now personally, as you can see, it's a bit too tall, so I'm gonna want to scale it down a bit. Let's try 0.95, and you can see it's floating already. So if it's floating anywhere, or you just see it's in the wrong place, you just click reinitialize to reposition it. And as you can see, it's a bit more matched up now. I'm just gonna move him up a bit, and let's try 0.7. That's it. Yeah, this looks close enough, so I'll just leave it at that. And now it's about the same height. Now you're also going to want to, now that the height is more or less the same, you're going to want to switch your X and Z scales to be the same thing. Now the reason I always try to make it the same scale is because if they're not the same, then when you import it into the game, you're gonna see some morphing with the model, especially in third person, and you don't want to see that. I've learned that the hard way. But yeah, you're gonna want to have XYZ as close as possible, or at least the same. Now what now that the scale is more or less okay, what I'm going to do is try and make the model match its position as much as possible. So I'm just gonna move this ahead a bit, make the legs match up. Alright, make the legs match up, and the arms, as you can see, is a bit up when I need it to be. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rotate the arms so that to match it up as much as possible. Now it can be tempting to use these things, but they can be a bit shaky, especially with the SDK. So I don't think they fix it as of now, but what you're gonna want to do is use this rotation offset script instead. So since they work better generally, and it, and it's not as shaky as is using the actual ball, I guess. But I'm just gonna match it up as much as possible. Lower it down. You don't have to put too much effort into this. Most of the time, this is just going to be for the third person perspective, and it won't really affect your perspective as much. But if you want, you can just put as much effort as you want into this. Don't worry if it's a bit too small or too big into the scale. It really doesn't matter that much. But I'm just gonna go ahead and try and fix it as much as I can. Now I'm gonna fix the other arm. Like if you want to hide the walkie-talkie, you just go ahead and uncheck render preview item. Now we just adjust the hand. And I am more or less done. As you can see, it's not perfect, but it'll do for now. And really, it's significantly better if your arms are slightly shorter than the scavenger player model, since the imperfections won't be as visible in game. But I guess I can call this done. Hold on, hang on, this looks wrong. Wait, wrong one. Oh well, that'll do for now. But okay, so now that you have all your model all lined up, as you can see, the heels are more or less touching at the heels. The body more or less lines up. Don't worry, it sticks out a bit. But now that I'm satisfied with it, we're going to go ahead and import it to the game. Now, first things first, you're going to want to go to your folder over here and select create, model replacement SDK, create project. Name it whatever you want. Just gonna name it as model. And this will be the project, and it will create your asset bundles for the game. Now you're going to want to change this asset bundle name. This is important. Don't just leave it as template bundle. Otherwise, if it has conflicts with other mods, your mod won't load whatsoever. This really applies to people with a lot of mods. I'm just going to need maybe this bundle. And project path, you can leave it blank for now. They will prompt you later. But since this is a new project, you're going to want to generate new project on build, make a mod GUID. This has to be unique. So personally, I just go with com dot whatever your username is dot your mod name. So its name is Ultraman Suit. Mod name, make it similar. Make sure there's no spaces. Since Thunderstar doesn't really accept mod names with more than with spaces in them. We can add a add an underscore if you want to, but yeah, I think this looks better. Description and namespace, I'm just gonna leave it as the example for now. We can change this later, especially in the change this later on in the actual files. But now you're gonna want to go to your model over here. First, I'm just gonna make a prefab just so I don't lose this. And now I'm just, as you can see in this project properties area, you're gonna want to select the project and make it the one that you just made. And this will associate your model with the asset. This will just associate your model with the project. Now, yeah, as you can see in prefabs, Nebius offset builder, it's associated with this model. This means that when you build your project, this model will be added to the asset bundle. Now that you're done, if you ever add more, if you want to update, just select your whatever project you had, and then just make sure you do the same thing, associate with this one, and then just click build again, and it will create a new asset bundle with the same name and the same template, and you should be fine. Just make sure you uncheck this thing if you're just trying to make a updated asset bundle. But now we're just gonna build project. Now we're gonna go to hang on, just gonna go to documents. Let's just make a new folder. Just go to whatever empty folder you have. Make sure you can find it later. Just go select folder, and it will start importing your asset bundle. Okay, now you should go back to now that you finish importing the asset bundle, let's go back to the folder that you specified just now, and just click on test ether model2.cs project. You should open this. In my case, let's open it in Visual Studio, or in your case, whatever ID you have. Now this, then you'll see something similar to this. If you're gonna go ahead and open the Solution Explorer, if you don't see this button, it's in your view, and you can just hit Solution Explorer over here. Now you're gonna want to go to body replacement.cs. As you can see, you can see it's red. This is because you haven't imported the model replacement API.dll. Now what you're going to do to solve that is I'm going to just go ahead and go to the initial tutorial. I'm going to link this in the description so you can go ahead and refer to it if you want to, but I'm just going to go down here and find the DLL here. find this link over here. You'll get a DLL for this and just download it. Yeah, okay, now let's download it. Yeah, I kind of want to, and this is the duplicate. I'm just gonna go ahead and rename it to the default name. No, hang on, no. Wait, yeah, let's go ahead and move it over here, move it to your folder, and make sure it's named model replacement API. Don't have the, not have the one, since that will ruin things. So enter, and now you have this DLL in your project folder, and this should stop. As you can see, it's now blue, and so the code now recognizes it. But here in the body placement.cs, this is where you initialize your model into the game. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and rename this. This is what the name of your model will be in the code. So it's gonna be called Möbius from myself. It says the model name is, this model name is imported from your Unity. So as you can see, it's named lowercase Möbius, and it's over here as well. So this is where it's getting the name of the model from the asset bundle. And here you can leave mostly everything alone. You can just rename your class if you want, but yeah. And now you're going to want to go to plugin.cs. This is where most of the magic happens. But since I renamed my class, it doesn't recognize it anymore. But let's go ahead and redo these. But now that you in the plugins, what I personally like to do is I don't really like to use the config that much, and personally it's I don't really use them. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete the config settings. You don't really need them, and they're on, and if you understand how to use them, then you can go ahead and use it. But since this is more or less for beginners, I'm just gonna throw away most of the unneeded stuff. But I'm just gonna go ahead and delete all of these lines over here, and I'm just gonna keep this on here for convenience. But this is where the mod will attribute a custom model to a suit. Now this thing over here has to be a string. Now personally, I'm going to, this is what your name of your suit is going to be, and I'm going to name it Möbius.png, I think. Hang on, let me refer to my past models. No. Okay, so you can know the name is just Möbius, or whatever your name of the suit is. And this is what the name of your suit in game is going to be on the wardrobe. So it's going to be called Möbius, and it's going to replace it with the custom model that is called Möbius. Now that's all you really need to change. Now you can just go ahead and save it, Ctrl S, and get to the System Explorer, right click this and press rebuild solution, and it should be done. As you can see, I succeeded, and that means it's done loading, it's done building. Now as you can see, I go into my build folder, and this is where all of my model is being stored. Now this build folder is typically what you're going to be sending into the Thunderstore page, but right now it's still broken since we haven't added in an actual suit for it to refer to. Now what I like to do is just go ahead and go to the more suits on the store page, go to manual download. It's going to manually download the mod folder and go to downloads and zip it. Okay, and as you can see, more suits. This is where this is where I'm going to get the suit. This is where I'm going to get the suit PNGs from. So in order to associate it with the more suits, because more suits is what allows us to create custom suits, and model replacement API only allows the creation of custom models. Now go to your build folder, go to the more suits, and then just Control-C, copy this BepInEx folder in your more suits folder, go to your build and paste it over here. And this is where you can go ahead and delete this more suits.dll, delete the advanced, and this is, let's go ahead and delete all of these things. Now this .txt is important. As you can see, you can modify the if you want to run the suits that are included in this mod to load, you're going to want to name it to less suits.txt. So we're going to wait and do that, so that when we load this mod, it won't load in the other miscellaneous suits that come with this mod. Just going to go ahead and rename it F2 less suits. There we go. And we're going to want to go ahead and rename this to whatever you decided to call your suit name. Mine was Mebius.png. As you can see, yeah, let's go ahead and copy this, whatever you name this, over here. And now, this is only if you want it to be a default suit on the wardrobe. If you want to make your own custom suit, as you can see in my own mods, I have a collection of custom made textured suits. I can link this tutorial. You can go ahead and pick your own custom suits if you want. As an example, I'm just gonna go ahead and control my own textured suit texture and just replace it. The same, the exact thing, but yeah. And now you are more or less ready to try and start testing this. Just want to go ahead and Control-C, copy your build folder, and hit into your R2 mod ban or your install mod manager, whatever you use to manage your mods. And going to go ahead and go into your little company and go to whatever profile you use for testing your mods. You're going to want to have to download model replacement API and more suits in order for your mod to work. You can, but make sure these two are, or these three are at least downloaded, since they are required for your mod to work. Everything else optional, just these three. Now go to your settings, browse profile folder, and just go to BepInEx plugins, and this is where you're gonna want to drop your build folder. Test the model, C and Control B. This is where your build folder will be. Now, and make sure your DLL is inside there. Make sure you're, but in this case, while in your mod test, your profile folder, Thundersaw does some weird things if you do this. So in the while you're testing it, make sure your more suits is, you're gonna want to change your folder hierarchy a bit. So go to your plugins, Control-C your more suits with your build folder, and make sure your more suits is first and foremost, and you can go ahead and delete your BepInEx. make sure your MOSFET is first and foremost, and it's just like this. This is only for your profile folder. When you upload it, you're gonna want to for it to be like this, your Pepinex plugins. But while you're in your profile folder, if you're testing it, you're gonna want to make it the hierarchy look like this. And now you're more or less ready to start testing. You can just go ahead and play Modder. I have a third person camera mod on, but yeah, as you can see, you have your own Nebius suit. And as you can see, my custom model more or less works. I'm just gonna go ahead and switch into my third person camera. And yeah, as you can see, this is how your, I think the neck looks a bit stretched out, but I think you can fix that in another time. But yeah, everything looks fine. Run everything. Everything looks more or less fine. Yeah, as you can see, if I go to first person mode, as you can see, the arms are still using the player model, but it's using the textures from this wardrobe suit over here. So I do recommend you try and make your own textured suit or wardrobe suit model if you want, so you can see it in your arms as well. But yeah, that's about it. But now we're gonna go ahead and quit now that you confirm that your suit is working. And we're just gonna go ahead and go to our mod folder. For the icon.png, you're just gonna want to change it to another 256 by 256, or don't, I'm not your boss. For your manifest.json, this is important, but I'm just gonna go ahead and cheat a bit. Oh wait, I can just go to my, gonna go ahead and go to my other build. Here. Next build. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the MoSuits mod page. Download this copy this dependency string. Go to manifest.json, and I'm gonna want to make a new quotation mark and just add this string to it. I'm gonna just add a comma so that it knows. And yeah, this will be your mod name when you upload it to Thunderstar. Version number, you can just go ahead and change it to 1.0, assuming it's already working. Website URL you can leave blank, but if you upload it to GitHub, you can just go ahead and upload your whatever project folders you have, just so people can refer to it in the future. Description, just add a short description if you want to. Let's make this model company, and that's about it for your manifest.json. Just go ahead and save it, Control S. And as for your readme.md, this is, assuming this is your first time knowing what a readme.md is, this is basically what your readme, this is what everything is all over here is. Right now here it's pretty bare bones, but you can go ahead and change it if you want. I personally, in my own readme, I have all of these links and images and all that. If you want to refer to more or less the formatting, you can, as you can see, as you can see, this is more or less what my readme looks like in the Thunderstar page itself. But yeah, you don't really have to mess with your readme that much, but You can go ahead and change it if you want, but if you want to leave it as a default, it's also fine. Just make sure you change it, your version number and posterity, just so you don't confuse anyone with your version number. Oh, fine. Oh, control save, and now you're more or less ready to start uploading it. Let's go to the timer store. I'm just gonna go ahead and log in. But yeah, let's go and upload, and you can make your zip file. Now what you're gonna want to do is, wait, this is the wrong one. Go to your build folder, and you're gonna select this, right click, compress the zip file, and doesn't matter what your folder, your zipped folder is, just go ahead and control and move it to the submit package theme. You can just go and select whatever theme you have, make a new one if you have to. Communities, people, company. Go ahead and select the categories, cosmetics, mods, whatever suits. But if you cut this, but once you're all done, you can just go ahead and submit it, and you're done. Now, if you have any questions about any problems you have, you can just go ahead and talk to the Leafblow Company modding Discord if you want to. It's full of people that can help you out, or you can just go in the comments, but I do recommend you just ask questions in the modding Discord. There's a lot of people there, more people can help you. And yeah, I can go ahead and leave a link over here. But yeah,